Welcome, everyone, to the DUB Success Series, where we cultivate your belief system for success. I am your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, and I want to know, do you believe? Do you?
Do you believe? I want to know. Do you believe? 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 I want to know. Do ya?
Oh yeah, greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Do You Believe Success Series, hosted by me, your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, your lifestyle strategy partner, also known as Wadre the Motivator by some, Mr. Do You Believe himself. And I'm super excited to have you tune in on another edition of the Do You Believe Success podcast, where we cultivate your mindset and your belief system for success. For those of you who have listened to previous episodes, then you know that I am on a 100-day podcast challenge where I will be uploading a new episode every single day for 100 days in a row. Also, I am incorporating into my 100-day challenge the intimacy challenge, reestablishing the intimacy within my relationship with me and my wife. That was something that she wanted more of, and I agreed that we needed it, so I decided to incorporate that into the 100-day challenge as well. And real quick, for those of you who have been following along with that, you know that I'm using the 40-day love dare, or the 40 days of love journey, to be able to reestablish that intimacy back in our relationship. Yesterday was Love Makes Good Impressions, where we were to do one thing with enthusiasm when we greet our spouse. If you don't know them, to kiss them, then meet them with a kiss or extra kiss, or just something to show that enthusiasm about love. And today is day 10 of the actual 40-day love. I think it's the 11th episode, but it is day 10 of the Love Dare. And it says that love is unconditional. So you have to do something out of the ordinary today for your spouse, something that proves to them that your love is based on your choice and nothing else. I mean, whether that be wash the car, clean the kitchen, buy their favorite dessert, fold the laundry, but demonstrate love in some kind of way out of the pure joy, just appreciation for your partner. Just do something, anything. And like I said before, those of you who may be listening to that are not in a relationship, then you can always cultivate the love that you have for yourself, or just do something nice for, a family member. It could be your brother, sister, your parent, or whoever. But we just want to, reestablish that intimacy and bring love back to the forefront. All right. Also, within the 100 days, I talked about a couple days ago how I was looking at some of the leadership and some of the examples of leadership that we have on a worldwide scale, and opposed to sitting back and complaining about the leadership that you see, or that I see, that I don't necessarily feel reflects how I would want to represent myself as a leader, there are two things I could do about it. I could either focus on it, complain about it, or I could cultivate myself as a leader and share tools and resources with other people who are seeking to cultivate themselves as leaders as well. And I'm using John Maxwell, the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, as a guide. Many organizations know this as the Leadership Bible, and it has been translated into maybe 40 different languages around the world, sold in millions of copies, and many countries and many organizations hold this book to be dear. So I'm using that as a guide. Yesterday was the law of the lid, and the lid is just basically your skills, and it basically says how well you lead determines how successful you are. Today is law number 2. It is the law of influence, and it states that if you lead people, then you influence them. And what I want to challenge you to do is do one thing per day that adds value to someone else. If you want to be a better leader, you have to understand that what you do has a tremendous influence on other people. So I want to ask you, how can you influence other people for the better? What can you do to add the most value that you possibly can? Because adding that value will also ensure that you are being a positive influence. Now I want to know, who are your greatest influences? Who do you follow as an influencer? Are you, is it your preacher, your boss, your whoever else it is? I mean, do you have virtual mentors? Do you have literal mentors? Whose example are you following? And I want you to keep in mind that, leadership is for the people. Management is for the system. So when you think about being a greater influence, I don't want you to just think about it in the context of a job situation, because leadership transcends your position. Your position does not dictate whether you're a great leader or a bad leader. That is just the position that you in. How you influence other people ultimately determines the type of leader that you are. So just be considerate of not treating people like machines. You want to treat people like people. And truthfully, no matter who you are, no matter how big, how old you are, everybody, and I say everybody, is a leader. And it's not positional. It's not based upon your job or something that somebody else gave you and put you in a position to put you in charge. Everyone is a leader. So keep in mind that every good thing that has come to you in this life has come through other people. I want to say that again. Everything good that has come to you in this life has come through other people. So when you think about the influence that other people have had on your life, all of the successes that you have had have came through someone else. And also, this is something that I think that is very important, because when you're conducting yourself as a leader and you're thinking about the realm of influence that you have, when someone sees that you are good at one thing, they automatically assume that you are good at everything. Or if not everything, a lot of things. They associate the influence and the success that they see with just about everything that you do. So I want you to think about that. What can you do to cultivate the influence that you have on other people? Because at the end of the day, in its purest form, leadership is simply influence. And I mean, we could get into the technical definition that I've given you before in previous episodes, where we talk about leadership is the process of facilitating. It is the, let me think of the real technical definition. As John Maxwell stated, it is the process of facilitating, leadership is the process of facilitating. I'm going to have to look that up and give it to you, the technical form. It sounds real good, but right now I just don't have it programmed off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to read up on that a little bit. It's the process of facilitating talent into desired results, systematically organizing talent into desired results. I mean, see, the reason I can't remember it is because it's overly complicated. And at the end of the day, one thing that I have learned is the most basic and the most simplest. The simpler, the more basic, the better, because it's not necessarily about the complex. One of my mentors I heard tell me one day, and this is one thing that I've learned as a coach. I have a coach, and my coach said, you know what, man, just focus on doing less better. Don't worry about overcomplicating things, because a lot of times you overcomplicate it, you don't get the results that you seek to have. So if you focus on doing less better, the simplest form will yield you the best results. So I want you to think about that. What can you do to increase your leadership lid or develop your leadership skills? And also, how can you influence other people for the better? What can you personally do to be a better influence? And this is a better influence across the board. I'm not just talking about in your job, because a lot of times we get caught up in the word leader and we think about our boss or the superior person over you in a leadership role. No, I am talking about the essence of leadership, which is influence. What can you as an individual do to increase your influence over other people? And I'm going to leave it right there at that. And I just want you to think about that. The law of influence, that's just leadership at its finest. If you lead people, then you influence them. But I want you to think about, how are you influencing them? And also, what can you do to be a better influence? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, for everybody that is tuning in, I do thank you so very, very much for listening to the podcast. And I want you to know, if you're listening right now on iTunes, then leave me a review. If you want to give me a 1-star, hey, that's cool. I appreciate you for listening and giving me your opinion. But if you really want to give me those 5, I certainly appreciate that even more. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to the Do You Believe Success series, where we cultivate your mindset and your belief system for success. I am your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, your lifestyle strategy partner, and I look forward to seeing you in less than 24 hours. Hey, you be blessed, and we will talk to you soon. Yeah.
Do you believe? I want to know. Do ya?